Mic check with Stylist B. Mic check with Stylist B. Mic check with Stylist B. Mic check with Stylist B.
Hello, and welcome back to the Set of Mic Check with me, the one and only Stylist B. We are coming to you live, but virtually. So as you all know, usually we are definitely in the studio, but I had some guests that I just had to have on the show, and due to COVID, they just couldn't be in the building. So we decided to just virtually create a building so that we can get this together. So I'm super excited to have joining with me now the co-founders of Blairisms, Brandon and Blair. How are you?
Oh, it's fantastic.
We are doing really, really well. We are so grateful, one, for the invitation to join you. And congratulations on what you have and are building with Mic Check.
Thank you.
And thank you for extending the invitation and for the exception to virtually welcome us and to have us to join. So we're extremely appreciative and thankful and excited to be here.
Yes. So I'm excited to have you. Listen, we've been talking about it for a minute. I see your shirts everywhere. So kudos to you. And every time I see them, I'm like, I want them on the show. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's just virtually do it. I feel like your energy is big enough that we will be able to get it across the airwaves. So I'm excited you guys said yes. So where do we start? Blairisms is where we start. That's where we start. Now, in the middle of a pandemic, you guys are thriving. Okay, tell me, how did you decide, one, to commit to Blairisms? How did it come about, and how did it become all that it is now?
So the Blairisms themselves, because I've been asked this question a lot recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying that the Blairisms are really my testimony to the world. They are quotes and expressions of inspiration, of love, of celebration, of getting people's it's been my way of communicating those lessons and things that I've learned throughout my life. And so I was using social media as a way to share them, right? I was posting my thoughts on Facebook, screenshotting those thoughts and putting them on Instagram. This is back in 2012, 2013.
Wow.
And in 2016, a friend of mine from college, shout out to Courtney Danclair, she said to me, it would be a great way to get your message out if you took those quotes and stuff from Facebook and put them on t-shirts. Mm-hmm. People would buy them, I bet. And
she was right.
Look, right. I hope you didn't bet her, because she won.
I did not bet. That was the 7th of December. Mm-hmm. We launched 19 days later.
Wow.
When that idea was kind of given to us. The way that my brain works, when I get an idea or am given an idea or I'm inspired by something and I think or believe in it from the inception of it, I don't waste time in traversing between thought and execution and implementation and trying to figure out how to make it real.
Mm-hmm. So then the answer to the other part of your question, which is how did the Blairisms get to what it is today?
Yes.
Basically, Blair came to me and said, Courtney gave me this idea and we got to run with it. And then he said a couple of days later, we got to launch the day after Christmas. And I was like, okay, now we really got to figure it out. So why
not, right, Blair? Because why not? Why not after Christmas?
Exactly. So
listen, I woke up, it hit me in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff hits me in my sleep. I don't necessarily dream about it, but I wake up with oh. And so then I tap him. Oh, we gotta do this, or we gotta something, or December 26th. I literally woke up out of
the day after Christmas. I said, we gotta go.
December 26th is the day we gotta launch. He was like, why? I was like, I don't know, but that's what we gotta go.
So that's what the spirit told
that's
you.
It.
Right.
That was it.
So with the help of Courtney, we were able to put together a site. I started designing the first kind of collection of 6 shirts, which were All Blacks Matter, the kind of framework for the full Blairisms collection as it exists today. And then we launched.
Pre-orders.
We did pre-orders for the first week, and we thought, we'll test it out because we actually didn't have a vendor yet. We didn't know where the shirts were going to come from. We just knew we could get shirts made, right? Like, how hard is it to get shirts made?
Right.
We didn't even have samples. We didn't even have samples until the day after we launched. We didn't even have our own samples.
Yes.
Wow.
So for the first round, we found local vendors who were able to print the shirts and get them to us. But the challenge that we had was that we got way more orders than what we were expecting. We were thinking maybe 30 to 50-ish would have been a great week for us. But we got about 200 orders. And then had to figure out how we were about to get all of these shirts printed and organized, sorted, packaged, and shipped out to people.
Because one of the things that I said to him at that time was, what we couldn't do is sell 200 t-shirts and then people were waiting 3 months for them.
Right.
I was like, we do that, then we're dead.
We're done.
It's done.
Then that's it. Right.
You feel the momentum. You flatline,
and
right?
So I kind of went into research mode. And so basically, like, I had experience in retail and wholesale management and logistics. So I kind of went into research mode and started trying to figure out ways that we could get our product to our customers. And as fate would have it, I figured it out. And we were able to find vendors who could produce for us and allow us the space and flexibility to be creative, so that all we really had to focus on was getting the message out, getting the awareness out there, getting people to follow us on Instagram at theblairisms.com and Blairisms. I'm sorry, and shop theblairisms.com. But it was,
So one of the things, once the infrastructure was in place, because social media was the kind of the genesis playground, the place where the Blairisms was started. It was where my Facebook page was where our kind of following was. We then used that as our target market. Right, folks who we knew those messages already resonated with, and that's how we test out new messages. I make Facebook posts and test out something new to see how the message resonates before we go into a design. And so what I did, instead of, one of the things that I often saw when people started fashion brands, specifically t-shirt brands, one of the things I saw people do was immediately get a bunch of product themselves and plan a photo shoot, right? Buy a bunch of shirts, let's get people in them, and let's go take a photo shoot to get pictures to then market.
Right.
We didn't have money to do that. And so I decided that what we were gonna do was we were gonna completely use social media to market the brand. And so the way that we got models for the brand were people who we sold shirts to. And so we got people to post, to tag, and that is how we built kind of our our catalog of pictures,
all of our social media,
all our product shots.
2 years were like all user generated, all customer photos.
And that also helps to spread the word because you're now engaging other people's networks, platforms, as they are posting their shirt or in your shirt and about you, because now their people want to know, well, where did you get that from?
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. And I think sometimes what we see as a shortage, right, creates an overflow. Because had you had the funding to do the photo shoots or this, that, and it may not have been the brand that it is today, at least not in the way in which you've seen it grow, right? Because that's accurate. You don't think about it. But if I'm posting on my page, all of my followers see. If a friend of mine posts on her page, all of her followers see, opposed to random, Jane and John Does that you could have hired, to model the shirt. So that was really brilliant. So that's something to consider for you guys watching who may have the brand of your own. You might need to rework how you're doing it. Okay, the professionals are talking. You might want to listen.
Yeah, that's it. The Blairisms is all about organic, authentic connection, right? Like we are connecting with our people through messages, and we don't even call we don't call them customers or people who even watch us on the Savage Chat series. They're not fans. They're all family. Like everybody who joins the Blairisms tribe, if you will, who buys a Blairisms piece of merchandise, who gifts a Blairisms merchandise, like all that's family.
Everybody becomes family. And one of the other things I would offer to folks who are trying to get started, your focus has got to be on your product, meaning what it is you have, what is it you're trying to say to the world?
Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish with what it is you're putting out into the world? And two, figuring out the most efficient way for you to focus on the craft part of it and allow the production part of it to be handled where you don't have to, where it's not so cumbersome that you're spending more time in production than you are bringing people to your product.
Work smarter, not harder, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. In 2020, you don't necessarily need to go the route of
printing
kind of
1,000 shirts,
production
t-shirts,
and then selling out of the trunk of your car anymore. There are so many people who are still, who have the great ideas, but execution is key, right? Because if you can't get your ideas and your product to your customer in a timely manner or in in quality, then they're not going to return. They're not going to be return customers. They're not going to continue to shop, and they're not going to spread the word. And so it's important that you use the resources that you have. Technology is one of them.
Yeah.
And for a very, small amount, we were able to get I would say a small amount of time and a smaller amount of money, really. We were able to get our store just kind of off the ground, and then that helped us to grow. And
you got to continue to pour into it, right? Like you got to continue to take that whatever revenue you have from it. For the most part, this, right? And it goes, you roll it right back in. You got to throw it. You got to feed it. You got to nurture it. You got to grow it. You got to grow it.
Yeah, a lot of times when people get, a profit here or there, they get excited. Oh, I'm making money, and then they spend money that they're making. But it's like, remember, you have to put that money in to make that money. So if you want to make more of that, you got to continue to pour into it. And I think that's something that people overlook sometimes, just out of, I don't know, excitement, or just not knowing. So hearing you say that, I think it's important to the audience to know, like, you have to continue to pour into you. To pour into your dream, your passion, whatever. If you're not investing time and money in you, no one else will. And you won't see the results that you need. So, well, kudos to the both of you for coming together as a union. Because here's the thing, Blair, you woke up the day after Christmas and is like, we need to do it. But if Brandon wasn't like on board, it could have been not something that was an easy thing to do as far as time or, finances, because you were on your own. But I think having two people who are committed to it, right, coming in together is a big thing. So that's another thing. Like, even though he said it after Christmas, you could have been like, no, we're not doing that. It's the day after Christmas. But you were like, okay, we got, let me, figure it out. So, that's the ideal team, is for.
Well, here's the thing, you got to marry somebody who believes in you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, full stop. I mean, and that's not about, we didn't get together thinking that we were ever going to be in business together.
Right.
When we met, when we were dating, when we got engaged, when we got married, all of those times, throughout all of that, We were
It was
both.
never a conversation
It was
about
never a
starting
conversation about starting a business or
It was all the
being-
basic stuff. Like, let's have some kids one day.
Right.
Right.
We had jobs. We both had jobs that we both had career paths that we were on, that we were working, 9 to 5 for other people and on the climb and the whole nine. We never imagined entrepreneurship individually, especially or collectively. We never thought about this idea. People call us a power couple and all of this other, some of these things that I know people think about going into relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We fell in love and realized we were supposed to be together. And from that, everything else kind of has flowed.
Yeah. I love it though. Everything about it is organic, which is why it just continues to thrive. So, and I don't think anybody in relationships and then in marriage say, one day I would like to build a company with you, because, they frown upon, like, you don't want to work with your partner. So of course it's probably nothing you thought of, but it's amazing that it became something so beautiful.
Well, one of the things I've heard, because we have so many people who are inspirational, who are couples who are inspirational. You got the Jay-Z and Beyonce's, like the folks who have become seen as power couples.
Right.
I think the intersection of love and success is attractive to people, and that makes sense, right? But I think sometimes people go into love or go into looking for love, looking for the potential for both of those things.
Yeah.
And are sometimes
expecting
the potential for both of those things, for it to be like, okay, we're gonna be the new,
or if you
Jay-Z,
can't contribute
or
to
if you can't contribute, or if we can't do that, then you ain't the one. Right. So,
and that's tricky, because if you arrive right with all of these preconceived notions and ideas that your counterpart has no idea about, it could be detrimental to the situation before it even gets started.
right.
So,
Definitely. It's definitely. I mean, so many people have that challenge, and I think that we often try to tell people, don't look at us as relationship goals. Be your own relationship goals.
Yeah.
Like, create your own goals and your own tools to make your relationship successful.
Yeah. And
same for your business.
Yeah, I was about to say, piggybacking on that.
Because there are lots of things that are considered orthodox business practices that lead to success, right? We have to recognize that human nature is dynamic, is fluid, and because it's not monolithic, and because business is based on human interaction and exchange and commerce in a lot of ways, there are some things that are untraditional or considered unorthodox that do work to connect with people and will help your business grow, that may not be a part of what is conventional wisdom around business.
Right.
Or relationship.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say when you say, the idea of what it's supposed to be, but it's like, you have to create your own goals on both the personal and the professional side, because if you guys had approached the Blairisms standard, traditional, right, then you wouldn't see what you've seen, because you didn't do it the typical way. You did it in a very unorthodox way that organically worked and grew. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to find whatever your truth is, whether it's professionally or personally, and be good with your truth. That's the same thing with stereotypes and roles and who has to make the money, and all of that doesn't work if it doesn't work, So I agree. You have to be true to yourself, and then everything else kind of falls into place.
You got to listen to and follow that voice that's telling you there's often a voice that is telling you something that sounds crazy. It sounds unconventional. It sounds like those are the times that you have to really listen harder, because I can't imagine where we would be had I not called him and said, let's start this t-shirt line. And I said, you know what? we got
way too much.
It's so much going on right now. We can't. How are we gonna start a whole we don't know what are we gonna? Or 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, when I said to him, we should start a chat series.
Mm-hmm.
Had he not said, okay, let's go, and had I not heard that voice, spoke it, and then moved on it, we would not be. I mean, we interviewed T.C. Carson tonight.
Yes. And I wanted to transition to that because I've noticed that has been on. I watched your page like as if it's one of my favorite TV channels. Yeah. And so I noticed that was the thing. I'm like, wait a minute. How did that come to? Well, it's crazy because I want to talk about how you got certain celebrities in the shirts and how that happened. Then I want to talk about it's so much, and I'm trying to pace it for them all. So let me wrap up the Blairisms really quickly because I noticed like Erica Alexander. I'm from New Orleans, so I noticed Tank and the Bangers. I told you that's who I saw in the shirt initially. I've worked with Tank before, and I just love her. I love Tavia. I love the whole band.
Tavia and Swab and
all of them, yes. And so when I saw her in it, I was like, I love this.
All of them, everybody.
So how did we, and I understand that, it's the users, but how did we get, some of the big name celebrities in our shirt? And like being full on salespeople for you without asking. Like Erica did a whole video about it, with her shirt. And I'm like, I need a shirt. I want to do a video.
Everybody loves Blair. That's all it is. Everybody loves Blair. Nobody ever says no to Blair. So when he picks up the phone,
not nobody.
I'm the only one who says
it's
no to
the Zoom interview.
I know. We're clear. I'm clear.
But basically, this whole thing has been built off of the love that everybody has for Blair. It is amazing to see because you see what we got, right?
Yeah.
We got people like Ambrosius and Cynthia Erivo and Erica Alexander and Ty Hunter. Like, Ty is always in Blairisms.
He was in Blair.
I love it. I love it.
Beyonce has seen Blairisms.
Yes, she has. And she'll be ordering hers soon. B, get yours. Get it, boo.
Right. We're gonna send B this.
What's the song, girl?
This
song. Right.
What I hope.
Okay.
Is that the messages and the intention of love and that is what is translating and resonating in a way that is speaking to people no matter what their station in life is. Mm-hmm. And that the messages of our brand and the love that we have for our people and for our community, that is what has spoken to the hearts of Erica Alexander and Kenny Lattimore, just like it's spoken to the hearts of the folks whose names we'll never know, who are following us on Instagram, following us on Facebook, who are the ones who make sure that we can be here to be able to send Erica Alexander a shirt or to be able to host a chat series as an extension of the brand and still survive. I have no other explanation other than God is good
all the time,
and that our steps have been ordered and that we have been obedient to what it is we have felt we've been called to do.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
And alignment and hopefully being aligned in the purpose, in our purpose on the planet is what is the thing that is propelling us forward.
I love it. So speaking of moving forward, we have the chat series. Talk to me about that.
Yes. So another one of those moments where Blair is like, you know what? We should do something. So what was interesting is that we had started this Savage Chat collection in celebration of cultural icons, like people who have really kind of pushed our culture forward, like, comedians like
my favorite shirts. I'm
and it was great, right? But what ended up happening, and I think Danielle was probably one of the
Danielle,
sparks of this. There was a few. It was a few things.
So back in March.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, actually, let's go back a few. Let's go back further.
I've been pestering him to do a chat series.
He has been pestering me to do it. So here's the thing. Okay, I get it. No, I get it. Right? I get that God has clearly put something in me that translates when I talk, think, speak. I've always said that I pray that my legacy is that I made people think, laugh, and feel loved.
Okay.
So he has been trying to get me to start being on live, being in public, do a show, like to share.
Talk to the people.
To talk, to share, to give.
Because he be talking to me way too much sometimes, and I'd be like...
He doesn't listen. I mean, he married me, but it's the perfect marriage, right? Because that's what your spouse is supposed to do. Ignore the shit.
I hold mine accountable.
Right. So we tried. We gave it. We were on Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. We started a show called Have a Seat with the Team Dottin-Haley. Have a Seat with the Dottin-Haleys. We were trying to do it once on every Sunday, but it was just us. And our schedules were crazy. We were traveling all the time. And so even though we were trying to do it every Sunday, but if you're we one Sunday we were in LA at a pool party. I'm like, we can't try to have the show here. Right. What are we gonna do? So I kept trying to pull him back from it because I wanted it to be one, consistent if we were gonna start doing it, and two, I wanted the level of production that we were able to provide to be at a certain level for us to really do it. I'm like, if we're going to do this, I need us to be able to do this. And we weren't at a space at the time to devote the time, to devote the resources, to devote all of the things that we would have needed to devote to it to make it a thing. To make it a thing, to really make it a thing and make it a thing that we could be proud of and that would represent us and represent our intention and represent our folks, my family, in the way that we like. I can't be out here head first. You from New Orleans? I can't be out here head first. People know my people.
The first one to tell you about yourself. The family will be the first one.
Yeah. Well, my parents are our Siskel and Ebert. They watch every show live.
Every show to get the
I call them every show after we call the guest. After we're finished, you've got to come on. So just be ready for your invitation because you got.
I'm ready.
We call every guest after we're finished to check in after the live has gone off.
Right.
And then I call the parents to get the notes.
Yeah.
What's the notes? Because they're gonna give it to me for real.
Sometimes we even got notes during the chat.
I've gotten text messages from my mom during the chat. Please kill the buzzer. That's simple. Please kill the buzzer.
I love it.
That other night. Oh no! So we're now the Savage to what Bay was saying after the Savage Chat collection started and it took off in the way that it did, people really connected with it. Ty Hunter helped us launch the collection through an IG Live.
Right.
Okay.
We were actually on FaceTime one day, and he was talking about how somebody randomly IG Lived him. He was like, somebody was on IG Live the other day. I forget even who you said it was, and they requested me, and I was like, oh my God, I look a mess, but I went on, and I was like, right. He was like, I went on, so I said, well, shit. Would you do an IG Live with us?
A planned one.
Let's plan one. Let's plan one. And he was like, of course, I'm down, I'm in. So we hosted a launch party for the Savage Chat collection, for the collection with Ty, the day after our anniversary, day after our wedding anniversary. And the day before that, Fashion Bomb Daily featured us, which we didn't expect. Ended up featuring us as the Fashion Bomb product of the day on Fashion Bomb Daily. And once the swell of the collection started and that IG Live went so well, I said to him,
and we started making more Savage Chat designs.
We started adding designs. I said, babe, we should do a series. People are going to be home.
Yeah, especially after the Color Purple one, because we ended up
Danielle Young
having. So this is how Danielle got in the conversation, because we did a Color Purple design, and when we were doing our focus grouping, we
sent it to her, and she was like, nope, this is not right.
Like, nope.
Y'all got Suge and Squeak in the wrong boxes. Suge was not ratchet. Suge was bougie. Squeak was ratchet. Fix. She was.
We had her bougie moment,
and so did Suge. Suge had her ratchet moment.
Had her ratchet moment.
I mean, Suge was ugly.
No, but think about it. Suge, and I agree with Danielle's what I'm gonna say, because Suge's ratchet moment wasn't ratchet. You know what I mean? It was still uppity, even in her ratchetness. You know,
but being carried in.
No, she was also
exactly. That's valid.
In her tub. Put that bubbling all in my tub.
You see what I'm saying? You're making my point for me.
Which is why we did something we had never done. We changed the show.
Okay.
Changed the design. Only 3 people had bought it by the time we changed it. I called them each personally to tell them we were changing it. They were getting a different shirt. And Danielle and I decided that we were going to go on live to have this conversation. Now, one of the things I skipped in between him trying to get us to do a show a year ago, and this conversation with Danielle and ties our dear, dear, dear sister, April Ryan, in the American Urban Network's political correspondent,
according to CNN correspondent.
One of the black women that is
doing a thing.
I mean, one of the legends of journalism and politics. Like, we would not be having some of the conversations we are having today about Donald Trump.
We love April Ryan. Shout out to April Ryan.
Shout out to the book being right there for the reach too. Like, love it.
Excellent. Right
there. Speaking of, I mean, you'll recognize this person, New Orleans.
Shout out.
Oh, I see Sheba. I see you. I went on her show a while ago when I have children's books, which Russia, can you hand me the books? I'm just gonna show them. But she had me on the show then. I had just come out.
Were you on the 504?
Yes, I was on the 504.
I was too.
Okay, so you know. Look, I was on there. I had just returned to my natural. People like, you can't say you go natural. I had just returned. I had my hair was cut like low fade, and it was red. I was feeling myself.
Oh, wow.
But look, these are mine. So I have to.
Nice.
I need to find. So you need to show me how we can get all of those. I need all.
Absolutely, we'll talk. So listen, you're not getting rid of me after this. I mean, I'll keep it professional for the show, but we family now. So I will text you all the contact. Call me anytime, but I definitely will. But yes, okay. And side note, I interviewed her. So I ended up on the show because I interviewed her I was writing for Breakthrough Media Magazine, a freelance writer. And she was one of the cover stories. And when I interviewed her, she was talking about wanting to write a book. And I had already written my first children's book. And we were powwowing about what it looks like, what it needs to. And she's like, I just been meditating on it quietly. And so literally maybe a year later, the book was out. And I was like, and she's like, come on the show. I'm like, it was. So I just love to see things full circle, right? And it goes back to what you're saying about if I say if something comes to me, right, I have to get it done. That's how it was with Mic Check. I just wanted to talk to great people doing great things, to talk about the ups and the downs, what it looks like, because I think social media is an amazing tool, but it often only highlights the great. Like, I look like this on social media. I don't look like this all the time. The red lip is not popping, the nails are not done. I want to talk about the struggle too. I want to talk about, maybe your journey and how you got there. And so I had the vision, and then I pulled a team together, and now we're 3 seasons in, but I have to work on the marketing of it all.
Congratulations. 2 things I want to say. I met Sheba through the 504 show.
Oh, nice.
A full circle moment as we interviewed her a couple weeks ago.
It's that
Got
series.
And so, yeah. And one of the other things I'll say, because you just mentioned this, and I want people to be clear about it.
Mm-hmm.
Blairisms has not always, it ain't always been successful. It ain't always been, folks, and always, I mean, and that was one of the things, like, we talk about how we came out the gate and things were like beyond our expectation. But
Right.
one of the things that happens when things go that well out the gate is that if you're not able to, or if you can't, or if it's unrealistic to sustain that kind of height, you're gonna experience a dip. And you're gonna have to deal with you're emotionally, you got to like deal with the fact that there are going to be ebbs and flows and tides that are not only a part of your life, but a part of the business. And there was a point at which last year I started looking for a job. You know, I had not worked a 9-to-5 since the spring of 2017, when I said to him that I thought I needed to quit the job that I was working at that point and direct and divert all of my attention to giving to working the business and to pouring my energy and time into the business. And even the hours that I was going to this other job were depleting and detracting from my ability to really focus on and pour into and build the momentum. Because when you're building a brand, that's what you need. You need momentum. You need people to know, and you gotta get a groundswell in order for it to do anything for real.
Yeah.
And we get that, but it also, there's a blessing and a curse to that kind of success at the very beginning. One, because it's hard to sustain at the very beginning. And two, I've really learned one of the reasons it's hard to sustain is because some people are watching and not buying because they think the next person got you. They think things are going so well.
Yeah.
I've heard this.
It's true. I don't get it. It's
like,
true.
Like, you know, they don't need me to buy. Everybody buying.
Right.
If everybody think everybody buying, nobody's buying.
Right.
If everybody's saying everybody else is buying, I'm not gonna buy nothing right now because everybody else is buying. Trust me, that means nobody.
True. It's true.
So
the mindset of that is crazy.
You gotta stay the course though, if you really believe you have something of value that can be. Because had we given up, had I said to him, I didn't even speak it when I thought about quitting, like completely quitting. And he keeps saying, I wouldn't have let you quit. But I was seriously contemplating, like, and I've always believed in the principle of quitting while you're ahead. Yeah. And not being shown the door. And I was terrified that the market would show us the door, right? Like there oftentimes you see, you know, folks come out the gate with brands or with ideas or with something, and it does this.
Or just does
or it's a little bit, and then you go to their Instagram or their social media, and the last post was 4 years ago. You know, all of a sudden, the last thing that happened was 2 years ago, right? And it's unfortunate that's what happens. And we knew going in, we never imagined breaking through.
I mean, we still are in a lot of ways. Yeah. I think that what's so interesting is that we continue.
I still hustle like we got 100 followers.
Continue to push.
That's how you have to be.
Yeah. Push. I mean, we catch ourselves up at all times of the night. Sometimes
I'm always up,
trying to do something. Right.
I'm in inboxes because you never know when people are online.
We were chatting after midnight. I was calling myself leaving the message to be answered in the morning because I'm up, and we were chatting.
Because I had just finished likely talking to somebody else or doing something else, or I mean, we're grateful to God to have a team now that helps us produce all of that we're working on, because there are partnerships now that are happening. There are, I can't even say it. I want to so bad.
Come on, give it to the mic check.
Well, when is this going to air? When is this going to air?
When you need it to air.
See,
as long as it's airing after the next next 2 weeks. You said it's way
Yeah,
after.
it's definitely going to air. I would say at the earliest December, at the latest.
So we just signed
March?
a deal. We just signed a partnership
Mm-hmm.
with New Orleans' own Chef Toya Bowdy.
Okay.
To co-produce merchandise that will be co-branded with Blairisms and Chef Toya's brand. But we're also helping her to launch her entire merchandise line, which will include aprons and cutting boards and bowls and plates and all of those things. And we're also doing an online cooking show with her.
I love it.
Check that out.
Get ready to check that out, everybody.
Well, actually,
check
out the one that we just did.
Check out the one that we just did, because we're gonna. By the time this airs,
it's gonna be ready.
Just someone. Check out our Thanksgiving special.
Right. Check out our Thanksgiving special in the kitchen.
Well, that's funny because I was gonna say what's next, but you just gave me all of the goods. So how did the partnership come to be?
So there's so many.
The Savage Chat series.
The Savage Chat series. It's such a blessing to, technology, the intersection of technology, purpose, intention, the ability to connect in such a short period of time with so many people and with so many people in so many different places. The access that allows for us to, it allows the brand and the spread and the reach organically to just, I've been saying recently, we from 1 minute to the other do not know what email, text message, inbox is about to come and or who's about to tag us in something. I'll never forget. We were about to have a Savage Chat series. We were about to have a Savage Chat episode. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was some awards night. And we're like 10 minutes before the chat is about to start, maybe 15. And we get a tag on Instagram from Cynthia Erivo. She's done a Vogue-worthy spread in the color purple Savage, color purple sweatshirt. I mean, it's Vogue. I mean, magazine worthy.
Graphics, color.
And we weren't expecting that. So now I gotta be in the comments. He's gotta repost the stuff to the stories. Yes. I'm calling our social media manager and he's not answering the phone. I'm like, dude, what is happening? Cynthia just posted. We gotta go online. So there's so much that is happening in real time. And one of the things I want to say just about the Savage Chat series and the Savage Chat series podcast that is available on all or most major podcast streaming platforms now. You can go listen to what we've been doing with the Savage Chat series since we started in June. The blessing of it all that is allowing us to sit with people like you and sit with people like T.C. Carson and Eric Alexander and Dr. Jessica Harris and I mean just the Dr. James West and just the breadth of Black excellence and cultural icons and just people who have lifted us and who have pushed the whole world forward, right? It is a blessing beyond anything I could have imagined. We talk in New Orleans a lot about who your people are. I come from extraordinary people. My grandparents were freedom riders. My grandmother was Aretha Castle Haley and Richard Haley. And so, they were instrumental in pushing the culture forward. Yeah. Them along with, Reverend Avery Alexander and Rudy Lombard and Mama Dodie Smith and Baba Jerome Smith, all of the folks who are part of the civil rights struggle from New Orleans and other places like James Baldwin and Representative John Lewis and all of the folks whose shoulders we stand on. we're just extraordinarily blessed that we are hopefully living this idea of being our ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's all of that. And then with even like continuing that, now you are a part of continuing to push the culture forward. So someone will reference you in a conversation in the future. That's what's crazy.
You ain't gonna make me cry this late at night.
I'm sorry.
Whew.
It's true though. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about the ancestors that came before you to afford you the opportunity to do the things that you're doing. And now you are immortalizing, sayings that help us to prevail that help us to continue to push forward amidst chaos.
Yeah.
During a pandemic, during a time where racial issues are so very much so publicly a thing, and we are so tied into like what we wear. We're so woke. We want who we are, everything about us. We wanted to say something when we walk in the door, and that's what you allow. That's what you give voice to. So even those who aren't strong enough to vocally say something can put on a Blairism shirt and still speak their truth.
Say it with your
That's
chest.
powerful.
Well, that is. Then all I'll say is, thank you, God, and mission accomplished.
Yes. Oh my God, you're tearing up for real. That's adorable. I love it.
Oh God.
No.
Shut up.
I thought you fought it because I couldn't see because of the glasses. You know how you do the hard blank, like, I'm good.
I thought I was gonna be able to get away from it.
I love it.
Such a blessing because it means so much. It's a blessing to be a blessing.
Yes.
It means so much. The song, that if I help someone with a word or a song, then my living is not in vain.
Yes.
Well, it means a lot to me knowing who I come from and what they sacrificed. It is always, 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 one of the things I always say is that, when I was born, my grandparents and great aunt and all of these folks had done all of this great stuff already. I was born they had already given and done. And I was a product of both their nature and nurture. And I've always felt an extraordinary responsibility to live in a way that not only made them proud, but made people say, I did them proud.
Yeah. Well, to shift the energy, because it is I don't know if they'll watch it late or early, but it's late for us right now, right?
Woo, child, it's late for us right now.
We're gonna play a little bit of game to shift the energy before we close out, okay?
I love a game.
All right, you down for a game?
Down.
So listen, we know that the Blairisms has so many popular popping sayings, and the Savage shirts are just a hit. I cannot wait to put personal items on and I also love that you allowed that. So I was gonna get, and I'm still gonna get that, but I waited. I was gonna get the one with Claire Huxtable on it. And then there was another one, I think it was it Living Single? I think it was, yes, that's the one but then I saw I could put myself on it. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait till I get my pictures so I can order all of them.
All Savage, classy, boozy, and ratchet.
That's right. So I love it. I love it. I love it. So I was thinking, I know we have Blairisms, but I'm curious to know some of the things that we have now, if it was Blair approved or just, not gonna make the cut. Okay, so that's the game. I'm gonna say a saying, right? Okay. And you're gonna say if it's Blair approved or just wouldn't make the cut.
All right.
Okay. All right.
This is great because we actually get requests and suggestions all the time.
Okay.
But some of them,
So
I'm gonna do some that's in existence, and I'm gonna do some that's like trying to be a thing, but it hasn't made it yet. Okay. So the first one, because you said it, I'm gonna do that one, which is we are our ancestors' wildest dreams.
It's a thing, but not a Blairisms thing.
Okay.
Because I've seen it already. I've seen that's done. Mm-hmm. That's done so much. It's been done, and so it wouldn't be a Blairisms thing.
Okay. What about don't come for me if I don't send for you?
Not a Blairism.
Not a Blairisms, but it has.
But
it's in the cousin family.
It could be a cousin because it's slick. I'm like,
A little
but I don't
stick.
say that. I don't say that.
Okay. All right. What about blessed to be a blessing?
That's a
That's
Blairism.
considered.
Okay.
It's not original.
It's
but
not an
I
original
would
Blairism,
consider
but
that.
yeah.
That's something I would consider.
All right.
Something
What
very
about
original.
something? Yes. Okay. What about melanated and loving it?
Here's the thing. One of the things that it's for real. One of the
I'm
things
listening.
one of the things that we've also wanted to do as we traverse the marketplace of brands and shirts and what have you, is try to be as original and as authentic and as not.
Ours might say something like magical and melanated.
Yes.
Maybe.
But even still, that's like
I'm not sold on that either.
Yeah, it has to be a lot more fun.
Let me give you a good example of what we're talking about. Oh, this is perfect. A perfect example, and you're going to remember.
It's the new shirt, and you guys can thank me. But go ahead.
The
audience can thank me because you're about to do the new shirt.
We got a lot of requests to do a Juneteenth shirt this year. Lots. Tons. Because Juneteenth came this year around, Juneteenth was a month after we launched the Savage collection, literally a month to the day. And so the Savage collection everybody was in this kind of black because of George Floyd, there was a swell of all kinds of things. And so folks were asking us, what's the Juneteenth shirt? We need a Juneteenth shirt. We need a Juneteenth shirt. We need a Juneteenth shirt. And so I told Bay, I said, if we do a Juneteenth shirt, I'm not doing this typical chains and chain breaking and you see the thing and it's in red, black, and green. That's just not
right.
Banal and hackneyed.
It's a little like everybody, there's 100 of them.
Been there, done that.
And so I said to him, and we kept getting close, we were closer and closer and closer to Juneteenth. And people kept asking, and every so often I'd say to him, that's Juneteenth, we gotta think of something. And he was like, but if we don't, I said, well, if we don't come up with anything, if I'm not inspired enough to say this is the thing, then we just won't have one. Because for me, it's about it being authentic to the inspiration, to the brand and to us, than it is about having something to sell.
Right.
So it was the day that they were reporting about the scheduled Trump rally in Tulsa on Juneteenth. They started reporting that. And I was reading the reports that was what was happening. I'm on my Facebook and whatever, and I'm reading the reports. And my thoughts about Juneteenth hit me. My most pure thoughts about Juneteenth hit me. And I said to Bay, I got our Juneteenth shirt. This is what we're going to do for Juneteenth. And this is it, right? Like if we don't do this as the Juneteenth shirt, I don't see,
what we going to do? Right.
I don't think that, I'm not doing anything else for Juneteenth. And our Juneteenth shirt says, fuck slavery.
And that's it.
And that's it.
I like it.
I loved it. I thought it was perfect.
It's so, perfect. And that's straight to the point. But,
say it with your chest.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
So,
I love it.
That's how
you can usually tell if something is gonna fit with the Blairisms. If it's got a real, and it ain't something you heard necessarily in that way before, or at all before.
Sorry for all the people who sent in the sayings you didn't make the cut, except for blessed to be a blessing was kind of a cussing. So y'all gotta keep just purchasing the Blairisms because you didn't.
Yeah.
Well, this shirt may or may not make the cut, but it's coming from my heart. We have a little gift for you, which I will ship out. Because we just wanted to thank you all for taking the time to sit down with us and just sharing your journey. We're just elated to be a part of the process, to be able to sit with you, to learn from you and grow from you. And so we have a little gift for you.
Oh, nice.
I cannot wait to wear it.
Yes. So it's just a mic check with Stylist B shirt. Sorry, it's a mic check with Stylist B shirt, but it does have a mic. Which you guys, That's something that works.
I have loved microphones because I'm a singer. I've loved microphones since I was little. My parents have bought me. I've had microphones my whole life. I used to have the Castle Grayskull from He-Man and Snake Mountain because they had a microphone connected to the thing so you could talk like Skeletor.
Yes.
I love microphones. So that is
so you will be happy to wear the shirt. You're not
happily.
Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you both again for, just sitting down and chatting with me. I really cannot wait to foster this relationship. You feel like family. And for everyone that is watching, please tell them again where they can like, follow, tune in, purchase, etc.
Yes, please like, follow, post, tag, share us. Everything is on IG right now. Blairisms. Blairisms. The Blairisms.
We have a link tree in our profile.
Oh yeah, hit that link in the bio. It's all kinds of articles.
It'll take you to articles and other features and
our history,
and our history.
Get to know us.
And our podcast.
Nice. I love it. Audience, if you haven't taken anything from this, what you should know is the one, be true to yourself. Move when the spirit hits you. Do not procrastinate. Create your own organic brand, your own organic relationship, whatever that may be for you. And continue to be consistent, because that's the thing. The consistency is what continues to grow it. So I hope you all have loved the show. I know I have. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, remember, never let anyone dim your light or mute your mic. Peace.
Yes.
Is that a Blairism?